Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Softcore History. I'm your host of the week, Dan Regester, joined as always by Rob Fox.
What's going on?
And we have a third band joining us on the couch in my home. Scott, welcome.
What's up? Yeah, we're couch boys.
Scott Lopez.
Big fan of being couch boys with you guys.
You're in the Lucky Pierre seat today.
Yeah, it feels great. Half my butt cheeks spread on the frame.
Like a Lucky Pierre?
It feels great. Very comfy here. Thanks, guys.
I feel like I have the best position because we're obviously going that way with the Lucky Pierre.
Is that how we're going?
So, Rob, you're in the front.
Oh.
I'm the caboose.
Womp womp. Yeah, see, it's a Lucky Pierre varies wildly differently from a human centipede. Human centipede, you want to be in the front. Lucky Pierre, you want to be in the middle.
Look at me go. I didn't even know that.
Dan thinks he has the best. Scott has the best.
I get the best of both worlds, like Hannah Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just getting it. I just get to enjoy it because I didn't write it. Just like in the show, I didn't write the show, so I just get to enjoy the show. And in the Lucky Pierre, I don't have to do any work. I'm just open.
Holes open.
Holes open. On the show, it's my ear holes. In this semi-hypothetical, it's my a-hole.
You would figure out a way to be a dead fish in this scenario.
What do you want me to do?
Just lay there, I guess. Be a power bottom. Throw it back.
It's hard to do. Like, you can't. There's too many factors in a Lucky Pierre. One-on-one, yeah, you can go full power bottom, but if we're talking a train, I mean, there's a lot of other things to consider. Sometimes it's best to just lead by letting your team play.
We're going handhelds today. I couldn't figure out how to do a third mounted mic in the middle without it being extremely awkward or tipping over a lot of things.
Professional.
I-
We could have made it work.
I like the handhelds. A, it goes back to our original days. And B, I feel like I have more personality.
It's true. We have now celebrated our 5-year anniversary as a show,
Whoa.
and we started with these kind of handheld mics.
I didn't even know that. When was the 5-year?
Like a month
End
ago.
of August.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It was like late August.
We did not acknowledge it.
Yeah, that's why I had no idea. That's congrats, guys.
What is the 5-year anniversary?
Now I'm on the
I
couch
think it
with
is
you guys.
officially like August 31st.
Oh, is
Sweet.
it? We started right at the end of August?
Mm-hmm. So here we are, baby, 5 years later.
Did you guys start
Thriving.
on a couch, too?
Rob's spare bedroom, also closet.
Sweet.
First closet. Yeah. And then my future son's room.
Although we were kind of like all around a boom mic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we evolved into handhelds.
Yeah.
And then
Then we got mounted. 5 years is the wood anniversary, to keep a gay joke going. The wood. So we need to get each other a wood gift.
I got plenty of time. Maybe I'll just kind of
Yeah, carve me something.
Just whittle something.
whittle a butt plug.
Yeah. Please sand
Those
it.
are probably pretty easy to whittle, too.
Yeah, that's not a lot of work, to
Yeah.
be honest. That's just a stick you sand.
Maybe make a face on it. Give it some personality.
Yeah.
Well, if you're new to the show, welcome into Softcore History. I promise we are going to get to the topic.
We got to warm up. We got to take some BP.
Yeah,
Yep.
we do. But it's a long episode today, boys. I got a lot of pages.
What else? What's your note count? Because usually I feel like, for me, a normal episode is like 5 or 6.
I did 13 pages.
Woo,
Whoa.
boy. All right.
This is unemployed Dan right
I was
here.
really hoping I was going to catch the second half of Sunday Night Football Day, but that's fine. Let's fucking go, baby.
We'll power through this. Today's episode centers around a great and powerful nation. Can I get a guess? I'll give you 10 guesses, and you will not get it.
That is so many guesses.
It doesn't exist?
It does exist.
Madagascar.
Like currently.
Is it a great power in the world today? It could be. I could be tricking you.
Australia.
Not Australia.
It never has been. All right. This feels like a left field twist sort of situation. Talking about the Turks?
We're not talking about the Ottoman Turks.
Damn.
They are a part of the story.
Of course they are. All right. That tells me a lot. We talking about Austria?
We're not talking about Austria.
Okay. All right. I'm out. I don't know, man.
We're talking, of course, about the great and powerful nation of Sweden.
That was my next guess. Damn it.
Didn't realize the Ottoman Turks played a big role in that, but I'm going to learn something today.
You're going to learn a lot today. I
Sweden-
learned so much doing this episode.
Sweden had a moment.
This was their moment.
And I will say this. So we're talking probably 18th century. Are we going through like the whole history?
It's really 1600s and 1700s.
Yeah, that's the 18th century.
The 1600s are not the 18th century.
The 1700s is.
Yes, but we're also talking about like the entire 1600s in the setup.
Okay, I'm just saying they were bucking in the 18th century.
A little bit.
They're a great faction to play with in Empire Total War.
Okay.
Is
Well,
that where Zens came from, or is that Switzerland? I think it's Sweden, right?
It feels like a Swiss thing. The Swiss
Like,
wood
like
poison.
the nicotine pouches or something?
That feels like a Swiss thing.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it feels like Swedish, actually. It feels like some IKEA-ass cigarette type shit.
Yeah.
Everybody I know from Sweden is like very low energy.
There's a lot of countries that I don't necessarily envy, but they know that they are beyond their glory years.
They've accepted it,
And there's no getting it
appreciate
back.
that.
Yeah, there's no getting it back. It's over. So all they have to do is just cruise control it. That's the difference. That's one of the hard parts about living in America is that you're living in a country that's like, oh God, oh fuck, we run everything. We gotta go. Go, 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 go. And like in, Sweden, they're like, Sven, that's fine.
That's a lot of great empires. You got Greece, Italy. They don't really participate in the world today.
No, barely. They don't do anything. Like we had our run.
Yeah.
We had our run. Flags fly forever.
Now they rest.
Yeah, yeah. The banner's hung and we're good.
Well, when Christian II of Denmark executed much of the Swedish high nobility at Stockholm's bloodbath in 1520, despite promises of amnesty, he ended the century-long Swedish Civil War between the various noble houses, jockeying for power in the land of just enough. Yes, that is a real Swedish saying. They call it the land of just enough.
Yeah, that tracks. Because it really is like just enough to live. Like if you go any further north, you got Greenland, basically. Not that Greenland's directly north of Sweden, but you have like a Greenland situation. Sweden's like the last place where it's just like there is just enough resources here that we can make a nice little life.
It's also how I live my life. I care just enough to keep going. Very basic. I get money, I spend it. I care just enough.
We can adopt some Swedish philosophy here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
He galvanized resistance and eliminated all possible resistance to Gustav Eriksson, who incited the peasants and mountain men to revolt, allied with the Hansa, which was a commercial and defensive alliance of merchant guilds and market towns, and crushed King Christian's forces. Gustav I was elected king and proved to be a great diplomat, but also had some luck on his side. The Hansa was in a state of decline, and Denmark fell into their own civil war.
God, what's the Danish Civil War like? What are you even fighting over? What are you... It's a lot of civil wars. Actually, most civil wars. Maybe it's because the American Civil War was over something so giant that I'll see like Sudan, and I'll be like, what are you even fighting over? Like, what are you trying to accomplish or rule? Like, just stop killing each other. There's nothing.
Sweden, in fact, has never been a feudal country. It allowed Gustav to build a centralized state without having to fight a large class of nobility. Swedish peasants were, compared to continental serfs, well off, motivated, fought for their rights, and resisted violently any attempt to encroach on their old rights, including representation in the Swedish parliament. So they had kind of like a middle class peasant.
You give them a centimeter, they'll take a kilometer.
Gustav would ally with the peasants as they were a real power factor and use their fear of increased noble rights to get their support for him to make his monarchy hereditary instead of elective.
What? They're like, man, the last thing I want is some noble, rich asshole ruling me. Let's hook this king up. This guy feels right. I feel like everyone's like, back then though, like you're pretty monarchy brained anyway. You're like, well, we have to have a king.
It's like, this dude's cool.
Yeah.
He rides for us. Let's just ride him in.
Look, it's the 1500s, 1600s. We're going to have a king. All right, let's just get a cool one.
The nobility is not strong enough to resist as the land ownership amongst them is concentrated at the top. Most do not own enough land to live comfortably off of and have to become administrators and officers in service of the state rather than states within the state, as in many other nations. Sweden is rich in natural resources. You had iron, copper, silver, wood, tar, heron, which was made into oil. Access to copper and silver, and most of the peasants grow some kind of cash crop allowed for a coin-based economy to replace bartering earlier than in many other nations, further increasing their effectiveness of their economy.
What is their cash crop? It ain't coffee or cotton.
I just imagine it's like wheat.
That's not even a cash crop, though. That's like a staple crop. I'm just trying to even imagine what they were growing there. That's like like it's not tobacco. Cash crops, like, I feel like cash crops, like, you can't eat it. Essentially, it's a crop that's like will not sustain you, like your body. You get money for it, but maybe they're just growing herring. I also like that herring is like such a big part of their economy because obviously it's like they just pickle it and eat it for every meal, and then they also make oil out of it. Herring is like their buffalo.
Yeah, it says a large portion of Sweden is dedicated to growing wheat, barley, and oats for cereal.
Interesting.
Awesome. They're the inventors of cereal.
I mean, barley is like kind of a cash crop. That makes sense. Like barley can go either way because you can do bread and stuff with barley, but obviously you can do like booze and shit too, which is...
That's why they're a chill place.
Yeah.
Sweden got Estonia from the crumbling Livonian Confederacy and the important trading city of Ravel. In the Ingrian War against Russia, during Russia's time of troubles, a long period of civil war, unrest, and...
You can't call one single time period in Russia their time of troubles.
I was going to say most of their existence is a time of trouble.
The Time of Troubles, Volume 11. Like, it just fucking never stopped.
Sweden captured Ingria and the mouth of the Neva River, which meant that almost all trade to and from Russia had to go through Swedish tolls, creating a major source of income for the Swedish state.
Hell yeah, fuck them.
From 1600 to 1629, against Poland, Gustav II Adolf created a mobile light artillery that could support the infantry directly on the battlefield and flexible and mobile formations that were much more effective.
What's their artillery like? Just ballistas and catapults?
So he was kind of like an
gunpowder.
innovator for the artillery, where he's like, we're going to have units that are dedicated light artillery. They're going to support directly on the battlefield. And you can kind of like move it along.
Oh, cannons and shit.
Yeah, this is 1600s, man.
I don't know that.
They're rocking cannons at that point. For sure.
It wouldn't surprise me if they had swords and spears.
Yeah, that's fair. I think at this point, too, Russia controls Finland, so Russia, like, abuts Sweden. There's no buffer. They're right on.
Sweden owns Finland.
Sweden owns Finland at this point. Well, either way, they're right up next to each other. Good for Sweden, though.
They had excellent generals and started a strategy of endless war and plunder on foreign soil to keep its military-industrial complex rolling.
Well, it's in their blood.
Sweden kept the Habsburgs more than busy and unable to unite against France, who paid Sweden for their efforts. So during the kind of 1600s under Gustav II Adolf, they're constantly just going to war with other nations to profit.
Yeah.
Which is sick.
That's so cool.
Their ancestors were Vikings. Like, of course.
Sweden ravaged, murdered, pillaged, plundered, and raped its way through Germany in the 30 Years' War from 1630 to 1648, Poland from 1655 to 1660, and ravaged Denmark in wars from 1635 to 1645. Europeans joke that everything nice and cultural in Sweden was taken from Prague in 1648 and Warsaw in 1655.
Probably true, but that's fine.
Charles XI, or Karl, created a citizen soldier part-time army where peasants were freed from tax duties if they equipped soldiers and provided them a croft or part of their land. Before this, much of Sweden's army was German and Scottish mercenaries fighting for the Swedish crown. 70% of the state budget went into this and created an actual Swedish army of about 67,000 men and 8,000 in the Navy.
That's pretty solid, to be honest.
That sounds huge.
It's not a big nation. It's a nation of about like 1.5 million at this point.
Yeah, 60,000 standing army. It's bigger than some standing armies now. Like in real countries.
Yeah, they would train and drill 2 to 3 months out of the year outside of war, and by the late 17th century had experience out the ass in real battles where they were greatly outnumbered and still pulled out dubs.
Was a lot of it due to their artillery?
Yeah.
Because they were kind of like revolutionary in that aspect?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, so like was the artillery pieces were part of like an infantry unit, essentially?
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of it being a separate artillery unit,
They had those, but they also had like a mobile
right.
unit. Yeah.
It's almost like that's almost like honestly like a proto like German blitzkrieg situation where they just completely revolutionized mechanized infantry. It was almost like just mobile artillery. That's sweet.
The fact of the matter, though, was they couldn't really afford to take losses like many of their neighbors with much larger populations. So the rest of Swedish society was basically rearranged in support of the armed forces. It was a nation built on war.
So
That's cool.
no Pyrrhic victories allowed in Sweden. Like you got to get that dub and get it real clean.
You can't really lose guys either.
Yeah.
You just got to launch artillery until they give up.
But you know what, dude? That honestly, that's a way to like revolutionize fighting because now all of a sudden you're like, hey, boy, we lost a lot of guys just marching in a line at that other line. We got to take cover. We can't let that many people die. Like we got to start shooting from behind fucking fences and shit.
It blows my mind how long it took for people to realize that.
Well, I
It's
mean,
crazy.
they wanted to just like concentrate fire, I guess. I don't know. There had to be so many people just standing there that were like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way than this.
At this point, their empire nearly encircles the entire Baltic Sea. They dominate trade, and their army is world class. And that gets us to today's topic, the Great Northern War. Hear about this? Know about this?
No.
You've never heard of the Great Northern War?
I haven't heard about much, especially not this.
Yeah, I didn't hear shit about this either until I actually researched it, and wildly fascinated. Sweden took on essentially all of Europe.
Dude,
That is so cool.
I'm telling you, this is all I know about Sweden historically, really. I don't know much. They are a good-ass faction in Empire Total War. I'm just saying. They are fucking great to play as.
I'm not kidding. Everyone that surrounds them, obviously because of how they built up their empire, is pissed at how they did it. And they want blood. They want revenge.
Eventually, the like, because they were kind of like France's, like, not proto-war, proxy war.
Yeah.
Boy for a while, and then eventually they just get too big for their own britches, and everyone's like, fuck these guys.
It's like, we got to knock down Sweden.
I mean, think about it. They're fucking Russia in trade, right? They got to pay tolls on every fucking ship that goes through.
Because they took all of the Russian cities that were actually on the coast.
Yeah. They're pillaging Germany, pillaging Poland, which, by the way, not a slouch at this time period. Poland, Lithuania, not that bad of a country.
We're going to talk about them.
Yeah.
I don't know. You might have a different opinion after we talk about Poland, Lithuania today.
They've done so again. Another pretty good faction in Empire Total War. However, you're just surrounded by them. It sucks. So I feel like they take a lot of L's just because they are geographically lucky Pierre'd, basically. And then what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, and then they were fucking up Germany the whole time too. So they're fucking up Germany, fucking up Poland, pissing off the Habsburgs because they were fighting for France. And I assume they did something to piss off France eventually. And then obviously, like I said, they're already fucking the Russians. So you've got 5 right there. And I just have to guess the British don't love them either.
Stay tuned. So this takes us to 1697, and King Charles XI, old Carl, dies of stomach cancer at the age of 41. He's been complaining for 4 years. Stomach's been hurting. They find like a really hard tumor, and he just like suffers and dies.
That was actually just a calcified ball of pickled fish.
Probably.
Died like a true Swede, eating horrible food.
Now, his son, Charlie XII, takes over at just 14, but was much more prepared for the throne than a typical teenager. After Carl's wife died in 1693, Carl dealt with the grief by bringing his son to work all the damn time. So this kid, from like 10 on...
Interning.
Yeah, he's in the meetings. He's at, all the councils.
Yeah. He sees the inner workings. He knows the game.
So he essentially, gets on-the-job training for 4 years before this. He already learned how to ride a horse by the age of 4 and spent a good portion of his youth physically training to become a soldier. That's all he ever wanted, was to be a troop.
God, I was the same way all my life growing up. All I wanted to do was be in the army. Look at me now, just fat mullet. Like I did the thing, and now I'm like, yeah.
Did it live up to your dreams?
No, not at all. For like a decade, I was just preparing. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. It sucked. And then I got out.
It's funny.
I'm never working out again.
It's funny too because like you also, I'm sure there are a lot of people throughout history in the United States, especially, who joined the army and were like, yeah, and then like they don't even get a war, really. But you joined during a war.
I did have a cool war. Yeah, but then the war ended, and I'm like, all right, there's no point. So I kind of that's why I really got out. But overall, it just wasn't fun.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah,
I've heard it's like prison you get paid to be in.
yeah, you get paid like $19,000 a year.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dude, I'm rich.
Rent's covered. Oh,
Yeah,
sick, dude. That's about how much
Well,
I'm making right now.
yeah. Well, I mean, it is. I mean, how much of it goes into your pocket though? Because you're not paying room and board. How many meals are you buying a week?
all of them. Yeah, I never used the chow hall because it's just gross.
Really? Yeah, it's just gruel.
It's just like powdered egg stuff, reheated things. They didn't cook anything. It just they had a plastic pouch of meat that they put in the oven.
Also, all the
warmed it up
barracks
and
are just gross.
black mold. Yeah.
Yeah, just I think you're worse off actually at a fort in the U.S. than you are in like Afghanistan.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I had AC in Afghanistan. It was nice.
It sounds to, I mean, this honestly wildly identical to my time living in a fraternity house. Food was terrible, horrible old shitty building full of probably every disease you can imagine.
Yep.
Like black mold, asbestos, goddamn everything. I mean, I didn't gain like a freshman 15 in college because the food at the fraternity house was so bad, and I was on Adderall. It was almost impossible.
That's true, Rob. You're a veteran of the Zeta lip sync. Same thing as GWAT.
It is. Yeah.
I had my GWAT.
Trials and tribulations amongst both parties.
Yeah, I had a GWAT Greek week overnight.
Tight. It was
Yeah,
tight.
Yeah, it was tight. I was gonna try to do something lame, but I couldn't think of a T
That's
word.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
togetherness.
So Friday we did an episode on the Patreon, patreon.com/softcorehistory, where we went through the data. Somebody like plotted the best generals to ever like live throughout human history.
That sounds awesome.
That
Sounds so fun.
Hard sports data, wins above replacement on like every general you can imagine throughout history, like every.
Was General Butt Naked on there?
We did not find butt naked.
Oh,
no.
man.
But everyone's kind of like lumped together, and it's just this giant circle, except Napoleon. So Napoleon is far and beyond everyone else, and he sticks out. He's the anomaly.
That's cool.
However, I would like to, after this episode, see where my boy Charlie 12 lands, because
The 14-year-old?
yeah, you're going to hear about this kid, and you're going to be like, all right, like he's one of the GOATs.
Whoa.
He's one of the best to do it.
That's awesome. I'm stoked.
Damn, I wish I had my laptop next to me. I'd open it up and I'd just like.
We'll find it after the episode. Yeah.
You can put a graphic on. That's like this is very.
So my man might have been the original Sigma male, as he would much rather spend time grinding on his fitness, combat skills, and work than entertain the idea of finding a suitable spouse.
Sick.
Candidates were routinely offered to him, and Charlie would often avoid the proposals altogether or deny them from the jump. He declined Duchess Marie Elizabeth of Hamburg and her offer, saying he could never wed somebody as ugly as Satan and with such a devilishly big mouth.
What a guy.
Look, if she wasn't attractive, and also, Hamburg was that its own principality back then?
No, it was just like where she wasn't like a major royal.
That's what I'm saying. So like if it was like a small German nation, because Germany wasn't unified at this point, so you have Prussia, which is huge, and you've got like one or two other like okay German nations.
She ends up becoming like a duchess of something I've never heard of. So
right,
not
So
Hamburg.
So like a lot of those German nations, it's like pointless. It's pointless. Like you need a wife from like France or Austria or England. Like you need a big boy wife.
In a conversation with Swedish knight Axel Lowen, Charlie alluded to the idea that he was married to the game, and the game, of course, being the military. I love this guy so much.
This dude sounds like me. I broke up with my girlfriend in high school because I was like, I'm going to war. And so like junior year, I broke up with my like long-term girlfriend.
Have to.
Because I was like, I got to go do army shit.
There's a fight.
There's no point. In
There's a
me
fight
breaking up
coming,
with her.
babe.
Yeah. Literally. That was
Same thing with college. You got to break up with your high school sweetie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to. Yeah. Again, war, college, same thing.
I mean, your only other option as a member of the military was to get your high school girlfriend pregnant.
Yeah. Well, then she would have cheated on me immediately anyways.
Oh yeah, you'd be divorced now either way. You would not have been with her
Yeah.
throughout. I'm just saying there would have been a time, a small period where you were in a doomed marriage with 1 to 2 little rascals running around.
Yeah.
Like you'd have been a father of 3 by 24.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Yeah, but you look way more like a Jody than a GI.
I accidentally did Jody once. Me and my friend were hanging out at a bar, and he goes, Lopez, am I a bad guy? And I said, no, dude, you're great. And he's like, man, I had sex with a girl whose wife is in Korea, or whose husband's in Korea. And I go, did she have a Siberian Husky? And he goes, yes. And I'm like, dude, I also hooked up with that same chick and found out after the fact that her husband was in Korea.
Oh,
But the fact that I was like, dude, does she have a husky? And he looks at me, eyes get all big. He goes, yeah, dude. And we pulled up Tinder, and I matched with her like a week prior. He matched with her a week after.
she is just getting after it.
Yeah, it was bad.
Did she have a thing for soldiers that came back home? She's like, you served. He's in Korea.
Probably, dude. Yeah, like he's only in Korea. That's lame.
I just like that she had a husky and made you and your bro Eskimo brothers.
Yeah, it was the coolest way to find out you were Eskimo bros.
Yeah, you and just like there was a mascot for it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Lopez, am I a bad guy? Dude, you're awesome. What are you talking about? And
Dude, you sweet.
we both found out that way.
Did you even feel bad afterwards? You're like, I didn't know. Fuck it.
No, I didn't really feel bad. I was kind of like, oh, that sucks, dude, but it happens. And I was still like, obviously in the army. I'm like, I jodied a guy in the army as I was in the army. That was kind of weird. But I immediately just didn't care.
Yeah,
afterwards,
it's not really your problem.
Yeah.
In the same talks with Lowen, Charlie also stated that he did not lack taste for beautiful women, but that he held in his sexual desires for the fear that they would get out of control if unchecked. He also abstained from booze for the same reason.
Wait, so he wasn't banging? Like at all?
He didn't bang.
You got to hold in that nut for war, dude.
The way he
You got to build it up.
the way he must have released on the battlefield.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He was noted for having an insane tolerance for pain, a lack of emotional intelligence, and an autistic grasp for military tactics.
This dude rules.
Kinda. He has kind of the same problem that Teddy Roosevelt, I imagine, did, where when you first hear about him, it's awesome, but then when you actually think about the day-to-day with him, it's a little much.
It's horrible. Horrible.
I still
day-to-day.
love this guy, though. Charlie 12's the man. Now, around the same time, Peter the Great becomes Tsar of Russia in 1682, upon the death of his elder brother Fedor, but did not become the actual ruler until 1689. He loved Europe and knew the future of Russia was to expand west and become entrenched in their economic system. The key was to get back ports on the Baltic, or what Sweden gobbled up during their glow-up in the 1600s. Obviously, Sweden's expansion during the century meant they pissed off all their neighbors and conquered citizens who were now under Swedish rule. The angry neighbors being Frederick IV of Denmark, who was actually cousins with Charlie XII, and Augustus II, the not-so-powerful king of Poland and Lithuania.
Womp womp. It is also like, well, of course they're cousins. First off, why
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't they be? But it is also like I just being conquered by Sweden. Like of all the like any country that has an annoying language and now rules you is just a fucking nightmare. Like if you get conquered by like an Arab country, you don't speak Arabic. You conquered by Swedes, right? And you're just like living your normal life. You're a German or something. And some fucking dude just is like, give me your money, take more taxes, You're just like, God damn it.
I was just gonna ask if that was their accent, if they were like the hunky
We're all
punkies.
going to do the same
Swedish
impression
chef, yeah.
because that's all we have. That's
Yeah.
the low-hanging fruit
They
that
just-
is in American
This
culture.
whole time, like, are these the guys that sound like that?
They all
and
smell.
you confirmed it.
They all smell like pickled fish, and they're seals. They eat fish and bark at you. Then you put a fish in their mouth, and then
Dude, some of my favorite athletes are Swedish. How dare you? Augustus had other motivating factors as well. Lovania nobles promised to recognize him as a true monarch if he liberated them from Swedish rule. With the expansion of his country and more legitimacy to his crown in Poland, if he was able to pull this off, Augustus decided it was time to get in talks with Peter the Great and Freddie IV to form an anti-Swedish alliance.
hilarious that even needed to be a thing.
Yeah.
Like, how did you let them take so much?
They tried to do this in secrecy as Peter pretended to remain allies with the Swedes, at least until his current conflict with the Ottoman Empire was over. That was until 1700, when Augustus just went YOLO. I need to get this territory and I need it now. He marches 14,000 troops into Lithuania and laid siege to the capital of Riga. Swedes counterattacked, wrecked the Polish invasion, and forced them to retreat back to Augustus. Meanwhile, the Danes decided to get in the action and go after Swedish client state Holstein Gottorp.
Is that Germany?
It's closer, I think, to Denmark.
Okay.
It's like right there.
I'm just wondering if it's named for the cows. Holsteins?
Maybe.
Yeah. Or
No.
the cows are named for it, probably.
I didn't look into this shit. They're so unimportant.
I would like you to double check any cow facts if something's named after a cow.
Okay.
Good point.
That's true. Well, I'm not Fidel Castro. All right, Castro would do that. The now 18-year-old Charlie XII rallies the banners and finances against his cousin's aggression, pays the Dutch and English navies to deal with the Danes' blockade, and leads troops himself to assault the greater Copenhagen area in late July of 1700.
I mean, he's got to just be hyped, honestly.
He's 18 and he's like, yeah, I'm going to get some.
You're like,
Been doing this for
finally.
like at least 8 years of just training.
I've been waiting 4 years to have a real proper war, and now I am like, just get some.
In just over a week's time, he breaks Denmark-Norway, forcing them to call for peace in August and leaving the anti-Sweden alliance entirely. A week. He beats their ass so badly in a week, they quit.
So that means Denmark has lost at least 2 wars in a week, because Germany in World War II, it did not take long to get through fucking Denmark. That's not...
They don't have
not-
the best record.
Not what you want. Yeah. Like, if any Dane never tries to talk shit, just be like, how many wars have you lost in 1 week? It's more than 0, but even worse, it's more than 1. So shut up.
The Russo-Turkish War ends roughly around the same time, allowing Peter the Great the ability to put his focus on Sweden and surprise a country who believed Russia was an ally. He raises an army of over 40,000 to help the Polish with Lovenia, with a focus on a Russian border town called Narva. But it was November by this time, and the ground was rock hard. The elements were harsh. So they just chilled in a wintry camp, laying siege to a city, hoping to starve out their enemy. Charlie XII gets word of this, decides to go against the advice of his council, braves the Baltic Sea, marches troops 150 miles across the frozen tundra after they land, and face an enemy head-on that was 4 times his size.
He attacks?
Yeah,
Oh, let's go.
in an open field. It's like, let's go.
I mean, dude, I guess the cannons are just bouncing off the tundra once they go through something. You're getting more kills out of that.
That was the point of the cannonballs back then. They're supposed to bounce.
Yeah, and these things are bouncing a lot.
Although I wonder actually if the hard ground made them less effective, because it hits the ground. Like the one thing they're supposed to bounce and then go into units. But if the ground's too hard, might go over the line.
Big line.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're shooting their guys in the back, and they're like, "What?" Scary.
Peter was so confused by this move, he actually just leaves to attend business back in Russia, thinking it was an easy win. And he leaves a French general in charge that doesn't speak much Russian at all. Because, for those who are unfamiliar, Peter the Great gets obsessed with like Western European culture, tries to ingrain it as much as possible into Russia.
Was he the guy who was like, everyone cut off your beards?
Shave the beards.
Yeah. He was like,
It was like a beard tax.
Yeah, he was like, we
gross.
look like fucking hillbillies.
Yep. He was like, we're the West Virginia of Europe. We need to get with the times.
Yeah, like this stops now. It is embarrassing to take you people west. Shave it.
Beards are way more intimidating than non-beards.
Not back then. You look like a fucking ape.
Yeah.
They would look at you and be like,
that's scary.
They would look at you and be like, he can't read. It's fine.
I'm not worried about a guy reading if he has an axe to my face. You know, this dude's GPA sucks.
You know what though? We are a soft ass fucking baby hands country.
Yeah.
And we could glass anyone.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with like France and England shit back then, right? They're Western, they're soft, they're cultured. But you line up with them and you're fucked.
Yep.
True. All right.
A huge snowstorm rolls through, and wind, snow, and sleet just start blasting the Russians' direction, allowing Charles an opportunity to strike. The enemy is blinded by nature, and suddenly these incredibly well-trained Swedish troops appear like ghosts out of nowhere right up in the Russian trenches with bayonets and sabers.
Let's go.
That's cool.
Came out of the fucking snow.
The not-so-experienced Russians break hard and break fast under the leadership of a foreign-speaking commander who, again, just a fucking French dude yelling at him
Yeah.
not Russian.
Well, dude, for Sweden to train 2 to 3 months out of the year is a lot. That's a lot for like nowadays.
How much, once you were in the military, how many training exercises did you do a year?
Maybe 2 or 3, but it was like it depended on what unit I was in and how the funding worked. In Korea, we had a 30-day winter, then a 45-day summer, and then every other 2 weeks we were doing something. So we had like 6 months out of that year we were training. At Fort Hood, it was maybe 2 months total. The rest of it was just you're doing nothing, cleaning guns and
Mowing the lawn?
yeah. So for have these guys doing 2 to 3 months outside of their combat, they've already been in war. That's probably a lot.
So these dudes are locked in.
Yeah.
Many of the Russians try to bolt out of town on a bridge out of Narva. Men fall and are stampeded over by their own guys. Eventually, the weight of the retreating Russians is too much, and the bridge collapses altogether with bodies plunging into the icy cold waters.
No.
It was a crushing defeat for Peter and a legend-making win for the teen King Charles. But rather than chase the Russian army back to the motherland, Charles set up shop in Slovenia and had his sights on Augustus and Poland.
I mean, Russia's not going to do anything to you for a little while. You just broke their fucking... Also, 40,000 is such a weak-ass army raise for Russia.
I guess they came in too confident.
Yeah,
No,
40,000?
Bringing 40,000.
Sweden brought 10.
Yeah, that is wild.
Fair enough. For some reason, I was picturing 60 just because that was their sole standing army, but obviously not every single one would be there.
No.
Yeah, it depends on how you allocate where the troops go at what point and how fast you can get them there.
Some of the best, though, it's with the king, so
Yeah.
his top guys.
Yeah.
And you always want to look cool in front of the king.
Always.
You're like, dude, check this out. Backflip stab. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that was sick. Like, I would do dumb things in front of the king in war,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. This all goes down as the rest of Europe is going through the War of Spanish Succession. They may have otherwise stepped in and tried to broker peace in the East, but Charles was out for blood and had no intentions of negotiating with the nations he had on the run. Poland at the time is cash poor, totally fractured internally, and the Danes in Russia have essentially taken an indefinite time out as their ally in the conflict. Russia would still provide some troops, but Peter was a bit shell-shocked by the loss in Narva.
He just was like, dude, what?
He's like, what? Because he left. He left
Yeah.
thinking, oh, dude, you got this. Don't worry. Like, we outnumber them 4-1.
Yeah.
That's such an embarrassing loss.
You're just playing, and you're just playing, USF at home, and you got to take a dump. You're like, this will be fine, and you come back, you've taken a very long dump, and all of a sudden, things are not what you thought they were.
Augustus didn't see a way out with peace. His ass wasn't secure in his own country, so admitting defeat would only delegitimize his power even more, if not have him removed altogether. He prepares the Polish and Russian troops that were provided by Peter to defend against the Swedes, crossing the Dwine River. The force outnumbered Charles 3-1, and they were dug in as the Swedes would have to manage a landing for their assault off boats. As the sun began to rise on the horizon, the Swedes sent small boats of straw lit on fire, causing huge clouds of smoke to fill the air and screen their approach to the shores.
That is genius. That is so cool.
A literal smoke screen.
Smoke screens? Man, that is clutch.
On the very first boat with some of his best troops was King Charles. And once they land, they come out of the smoke and just murk these Polish and Russian troops. Just totally
Fuck, that's cool.
destroy them.
I like that these troops just always like to pop out of a haze.
Yeah, the blizzard.
Yeah.
And now, smoke screen.
It's a magic trick.
It's a good strategy, yeah. They force another retreat and get a clutch amount of supplies and food that they were in desperate need of, as Charlie did not restock before the assault. Has kind of an issue with that. He's a foot on the gas kind of guy. He doesn't like stopping. He's not changing the tires out.
Well, I'll tell you what the real problem is, right? This guy loves riding horses, swinging his fucking sword, shooting fucking cannons, right? But what's the boring shit that wins wars? It's logistics. This guy doesn't want to talk about wagons and spreadsheets.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do that.
No.
That's not riding on a horse and cutting a guy's head off.
He's down with tactics, certainly.
Yep.
But that's the thing. That's literally the saying is amateurs study tactics, professionals study logistics. I forget which general said that, but a general said that. It's like my favorite quote, one of my favorite quotes of all time. It's like, dude, you win on the boring shit. You don't win on like flashy bullshit.
Yep.
Like it's the boring shit. The whole reason we won World War II, God bless my grandfathers and everything else, it's because the whole country was a fucking factory with a lot of money. Do you know how many, I want to say in World War II, there were something like 500 Tiger tanks or something like that, and 50,000 Shermans.
Yeah, hey, this tank isn't as good, but there's another tank right behind it.
You know what's better than a one Tiger tank? 40 Shermans shooting at it simultaneously.
That's the Bill Burr joke, right? We McDonald's them to death.
Literally. Yeah.
They then had a battle in a Polish swamp where they once again outnumbered Charles 2-1. But the Swedes had this fun little tactic where they just took the Polish artillery, like just slaughtered them from the back, took over their artillery, had their own, and then just started blasting the Polish with 2 artillery from both sides.
Another Lucky Pierre situation, to be honest. Just get
full circle.
Yeah.
Charlie was stacking dub after dub, and it's because he was so young, relentless, and he didn't have the scar tissue built up that would cause him to second guess himself. He's just like, I only win. What are you talking about?
Right.
Just keep doing this.
He's a gunslinger.
Fearless. His methods were at points just downright so insane they worked. When he took the Polish city of Krakow, he personally just marched up to the gate and screamed, "Open the door," before rushing the gate and holding it for his 300 men who were only armed with unloaded guns and canes. The guards and city soldiers were so confused that by the time they came to their senses, the Swedish flag was being raised for a victory.
I like that he's just at the gates, like,
he wants in on the action, dude.
yeah.
He's Brad Pitt from Troy.
He's a player. He's
Yeah.
a player
Yelling
coach.
at him by himself.
Yeah.
Augustus eventually gets deposed by Charlie, and the Warsaw Conference replaces him with a handpicked Swedish puppet king. He doesn't really face any repercussions and starts to build up a resistance to start a civil war against the new Polish leader, Augustus, that is. So Augustus kind of gets outed, and he's already plotting. He's already planning to get his throne back.
I mean, was he at the conference? I assume he just got out of Dodge and was like, all right.
Yeah,
I
he
gotta
just
regroup.
retreated.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Peter gets involved again by attacking the Baltic provinces of Sweden. Charles was in too deep with his Poland campaign to pay much mind to Russia, though. He lays siege to the ancient fortress of Thorn. He does so in a very respectful way, being mindful of its importance to the region, and even shares livestock with the city's population so they wouldn't starve.
Aw.
Augustus takes back Warsaw and regains power as Charlie's busy with the fortress of Thorn. But, after he takes care of business, goes right back to Warsaw and it's just like swoops in, kicks Augustus out for a second time.
This feels like a situation. I don't know how it ends. Actually, I sort of do because I'm reminded of a thing, but I won't.
Don't spoil it.
I won't spoil it. But this reminds me of that video. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but there's like a video where there's like 6 lions around this baboon. And this baboon is just going crazy and scaring the shit out of them. And they're like, oh, my God. And they don't know what to do. And this baboon's just being a psycho. And he's kind of like got him backing off. And then finally, one of the lions is like, wait, we're lions. And they just rip that baboon to pieces. That's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know if it's going to go that way.
The bystander effect or whatever, yeah.
In 1705, Augustus was just outside the capital with 10,000 of his own men. They ran into a small Swedish cavalry unit of 1,960 infantrymen. Eager to slaughter the greatly outnumbered Swedes, Augustus rushed his attack without much thought, figuring that if they encircled the small Swedish band, it would be more than enough. But once again, the Swedes held strong, and the battle was a diabolical beatdown.
God damn.
And this is just the story of the Great Northern War for a lot of it, especially in the beginning. Sweden's outnumbered, and they just kick everyone's ass.
Did they encircle them? How did they even get away? How did they even handle that?
There's 60 infantrymen are just like chilling in long grass and just pop out like ghosts again.
Hell yeah.
They love surprising people.
Hey! Terrifying, really.
They are. The Swedes, despite the odds, prevail over and over again in battle, in siege. Augustus has to call for peace, and they sign a treaty in 1706. Johann Patkul, who was the nobleman that put the idea of Lovenia into Augustus's head, is given over to the Swedes and executed by breaking wheel.
Oh,
Damn.
that's not a sweet way to go.
And this
That's
was
one of the most
after
fun ways.
Patkul was initially received immunity, and this was maybe the first misstep of Charlie XII. So he kills this nobleman on the breaking wheel, and a lot of nobles in other countries are not thrilled with that.
You don't do that. You don't do that. You can kill as many hobos as you want on a breaking wheel. Whatever mud person you feel like ripping to pieces, breaking all their bones, whatever. They're not even human beings anyway. But yeah, noble guy, people aren't going to be thrilled with that.
Like, that could be us.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, look at what happened in the French Revolution, right? Like, all the other monarchies were like, oh, boy, that is not cool. We got to fight France
That kinda
now.
sucked.
Yeah.
Augustus himself has to renounce the crown, but they keep letting this dude face virtually no consequences for his actions. So he'll pop back up again later. Peter and the Russians had begun making ground into the Baltic territories while this is all happening. They get to the Swedish fortress of Nienskans, level it, and erect the city of St. Petersburg from its ashes.
Oh.
Whoa, okay.
Now that Charles could fully put his attention onto Russia, now that both the Dane and Polish were out of the war, he attempted to blockade this new gateway to the west for Russia. As he began marching his army towards St. Petersburg, peace offerings were sent his way by Peter the Great. the Russians offered to give back everything they had taken so long as they would keep the new city of Russia, St. Petersburg. They're like, all right, we'll give you back everything, but we're keeping this. This is our jewel. We love St. Petersburg. Peter the Great named the city after himself. This is his project. This is what he's obsessed with. Let him keep it. Charles says no.
My man.
Charles said, give us our city back, you piece of shit.
You had to think that was coming. I mean, has he taken a loss yet, even?
No.
Yeah, he's on a winning streak. You don't fuck with that.
Only problem with St. Petersburg is it's heavily reinforced. Like, the Russians put a lot of resources and money into it. It's going to be really hard to take back. Charlie rejects the offering, not knowing what losing was at this point. He devises a plan, but not to attack St. Petersburg. No. This was a true heat check moment. Charlie and the Swedes were making their way to Moscow.
Oh, no.
Yes.
You can't march on Moscow.
They made good time through the Russian countryside, despite most bridges being burned by retreating Russian troops. An occasional Tartar Mongol horseman would be a speed bump here and there, but they faced no real opposition until they got to the Vabich River. Charlie didn't see this as a no-go, though. He saw an opening.
He's won a battle in a swamp before.
It required his guys to be shoulder deep in water, but they found a lane and overcame the odds once again, pushing the Russian troops into retreat.
Fuck that.
Do their guns even work at that point? You're not getting the cannons through that.
They had the sabers, though, man.
Yeah.
They just,
That's
I don't know. They might have been
wild.
really good with swords.
Yeah, fix bayonets, dudes. You're fighting with spears today. All your powder's wet, but you're just going to be stabbing.
At this point, the Swedes are physically spent. They took a month at that marsh to rest and to try to find the energy to keep pushing on to the capital. As they took a break, Peter made sure to lay waste to his own land that the Swedes would have to eventually cross. Crops were carted off, pastures were burned and salted, and a Russian wasteland was created to deter Charles and his unstoppable unit who have yet to take an L. They haven't lost yet. And Peter's like, you know what? I don't really give a shit about my people in the countryside. They can starve.
No.
We gotta stop this motherfucker.
Dude, I don't know if this is the first time the Russians did this, but it's really, I wonder if Charles gave them the blueprint for how to, that's because that's what they did to Napoleon and what they did to Hitler. They were just like, just keep retreating, burn everything, keep retreating. They'll get overstretched. It's fine.
This totally boned Peter's own people, but it did work as intended. Once the Swedes marched on, food was scarce, disease popped off, and morale was starting to decline. Charles' commanders pleaded for them to turn back to Dnieper to get supplies from a relief force, but doing so would essentially kill their campaign altogether. He asked for another option, where they came up with the idea to try and rally the Cossack troops in the Ukraine and take advantage of the breadbasket of Europe that Peter had not totally torched. Got to go to Ukraine.
Ukraine is, dude, there's a reason that Russia wanted to conquer Ukraine again. That was like the best part of Russia. Like by far. I swear to God, it's like Russia's California. Like it's just like everything's there. Everything you possibly want's in Ukraine.
Doing so would completely cut them off from the Swedish Empire, and they'd essentially be on their own. Charles, of course, was down.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck.
On their way to Ukraine, something called the Great Frost hits. It was Europe's coldest winter in over 500 years, in both 1707 and 1708. By the end of this supernatural cold, Charles loses half of his army.
Just from death?
Yeah, just from the
Jesus
winter.
Christ.
Died from cold.
Yeah.
They already were short in supplies.
They're short on supplies. Man, a Swede freezing to death it's a cold winter.
A Swedish relief unit was intercepted by Peter. The Swedes once again held their own. As darkness set, both groups withdrew to get rest at night. The Swedish commander of this relief unit decided it was best to withdraw and carry the little supplies they could as wagons were starting to get stuck in the land. Part of the supplies were weeks worth of booze for Charles' men. Obviously not Charles. Charles doesn't drink.
Right.
But he's like, yeah, I'm not going to make my men unhappy.
No, you
Get the
need a
booze
morale.
down here.
If morale's bad,
Also, it will help with the winter.
Yep.
The guy survived the Titanic because he was just all boozed up.
drink brandy.
Yeah. The relief unit figured it would be a waste to leave it behind or burn the alcohol, and decided to partake in a few beverages before they hightail out of the area and Russia attacked again. A lot of these soldiers get hammered, and it becomes a chaotic mess of a retreat, and no supplies from the caravan ever make it to Charles and his men because they get fucked up.
That's awesome.
Charles' only other hope was the Cossack leader, who ironically was an old Polish noble that was tarred and feathered and left for dead in the Ukrainian steppe after sleeping with another Polish man's wife. You got anything to say about that?
Yeah, Jody.
Me? No.
Got anything to say about that?
Yeah. Well, I don't think I should have been tarred and feathered.
How many wives have you slept with?
I think that one.
Just the one?
I'm pretty
doesn't
sure.
knowingly sleep with wives. Not a bad guy.
Yeah.
I didn't say he knowingly slept with wives, but there's still a number.
Well, I mean, so premarital sex is a sin. Having sex with someone's wife, not a sin. Correct? Because they're married. So
She's good to go. Yeah.
I think I've been pretty good.
Yeah.
But no, just that one that I know of.
You should only sleep with wives.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be yours. Just you need to. Wives are the only women that are legally allowed by religion to have sex.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So this guy was Ivan Mazepa. He finds his way out to the Ukrainian steppe, being tarred and feathered. The Cossacks find him on this horse, untie him, offer him.
They're like, you're one of us now.
Yeah, they take him in. He becomes part of their tribe and actually just rises through their ranks until he's the leader. Years later.
Whoa. What a guy.
Yeah, so
I
he's elected leader of this Ukrainian group.
Yeah, no regrets.
Look, when God closes the door,
Yeah.
he opens a window. You think you're down, like he's like, man, this is the worst day of my life. He's tarred and feathered on a horse, just wandering through the countryside, and then a group of hill people come out, and they're like, "Will you be our king, please?"
He's like, cool.
Yeah, you are God.
Ivan was, of course, interested in independence from Peter and the Russians, and Charles was desperate. It seemed to be a perfect marriage.
I mean, Charles isn't going to keep Ukraine. You know,
No.
You're not keeping it.
In exchange for 30,000 Cossacks, Charles offered up protection and alliance to the Ukraine and total independence. Turns out, though, Ivan may have overpromised and underdelivered.
What, on the amount of men.
He promised 30,000 men.
Here's 7.
He also might have wildly overestimated how much power he had in the group. Though he was the leader, he didn't speak for anyone. Only 1,500 troops show up.
Ooh.
Of the 30,000.
It's not ideal.
In fact, the other 28,500 go to Peter.
No.
Oh, so there were 30 though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But he doesn't control them.
He just doesn't. He doesn't deliver all 30. At least, he wasn't lying. There was 30.
No, in fact, he essentially delivers 30,000 troops to the
Peter.
enemy now.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a huge argument for the start of the Ukrainian-Russia war this time around. They're like, oh, the Ukrainians want to be a part of Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, they've done it before.
Maybe in the 1700s, but I don't know about now.
Yeah, I think they might be over it.
As a further deterrent, Peter started to burn down Ivan's capital and sent rebellious Cossack bodies tied to crosses down the river so Charles and Ivan could see them personally. So any rebels in that area that kind of spoke out or went against Peter the Great just murks them and sends their bodies on
You're just crossed up on a river.
Oh, I thought
crucifixes.
I thought they were alive. I thought it was a floating crucifixion.
Maybe some of them were still alive, but I don't.
I think what's funny is you put them on there alive and float them right side up, and they're like, "Oh, this isn't so bad." I mean, and then like, but the problem is like they'll flip over and they're like, "Oh fuck!"
You hit like a little waterfall.
You hit a rock. Oh fuck!
Cut off from their own country, stuck in Ukraine, virtually no supplies and artillery or men, Charles makes a last-ditch effort to take the city of Poltava by tunneling under the fort. This was a slow and painful process.
Who's left to dig even? At this, you just like, there's just like what 5,000 guys that
Not
have
a
just,
lot. Yeah.
that have been on the march for like 2 years, and they're like,
It's
all right,
I think it's closer to like he's got like 20,000 men.
okay.
But still, like he's overseeing everything and it's not going great.
They're like you just like wake up one day and they're like, what's going on? Are we marching? They're like, dude, no.
My man still hasn't lost a battle.
Even worse.
They're like, God, you won't even fucking believe it. Like, just tell me, man. Just tell me anything. Everything's been crazy. He wants us to dig a huge fucking tunnel. He's like, dig? I've barely eaten. Dig? The ground is so hard. Oh, fuck, dude. All right, give me some fish.
Peter gets word and he races down to Poltava with a much larger and fresher force. Charles, overlooking the siege effort, is struck in his heel by a stray bullet that gets lodged in his big toe. So somebody at the force just like firing down at the guys digging hits the king.
Yeah.
Because he's just kind of like, overseeing guys digging.
Yeah.
Just pointing at him. Hey,
Inadvisably close. He's just like, dig, like waving his sword around. He's like, that's a dig. Like,
he's just too big of a micromanager.
Yeah.
And catches a bullet in the foot for it.
There's like a lieutenant that's like, we got it, Your Majesty. Like, they're digging.
Yeah, if
It's
you're
fine.
in charge, don't make pointing gestures
Yeah.
in conflict.
Yeah, like, it's fine. Go do something else. We got
That's
it.
the first person that's going to get shot. Oh, that guy's pointing at something. He's probably important.
So he tries to walk it off and remain with his men until they eventually see he's like starting to just turn ghostly white.
He lost that much blood from a foot bullet?
Yeah, so they sit him down, take off his boot, and his foot is just a total wreck. It's a total mess. It's like
Filleted
it's
wide
unusable, really. And he'd have to be carried in just kind of like a little chair for the rest of the campaign.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Just
He
a
carried,
little-
carried in a chair.
Little Lord Fauntleroy. Yeah, he's not doing his cool king shit anymore. He's like, deploy the cavalry.
Now, as he's getting the diagnosis, Peter and his army of now 80,000
All right.
arrive at Poltava, dwarfing Charles' army of about 18,000 men.
Yeah. This one might not be good.
Charles, knowing nothing but ramming his forces head on, did just that. He's like, all right, let's go. Get me my horse.
Take our little speedy cannons.
They get smashed. Peter and the Russians just absolutely wreck him. He finally takes an L on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Charles makes his escape on horse after one of his commanders sacrifices himself to let the king get out of Dodge. And Charles and only about 500 of his men make it back to the Black Sea, where they try to get passage into the Ottoman Empire.
Oh, so he's going to go all the way around at this point. There's no going back up. He has to go into the Ottoman Empire and then just... beep.
He just wants safe passage to the Ottoman Empire because, like, Russia can't go into the Ottomans'
Right.
territory because they just had a war.
Right.
And he knows that, like, they're not down with the Russians. They kind of know. They know who he is.
Yeah.
They're respectful. The Ottoman Empire, at least to nobles and royals.
Oh, they won't break him on a wheel like Charles?
The Ottoman Empire actually just rolls out their Oriental rugs for the king, even establishing a temporary autonomous Swedish colony for his 500 men.
Sweet.
Hey, if you're one of the 500 that made it, you're having a good time.
Peter then goes to the border of the Ottoman Empire and demands Charles be arrested and handed over to the Russians. The Sultan refuses, so Peter just went, fuck it, I'm coming in. They immediately get confronted by the Ottoman army, and it becomes a big hold me back, bro standoff until an agreement to let Peter and his army go back to Russia without issue is agreed upon in exchange for Charles being granted safe passage back to Sweden and the Turks getting some territorial concessions.
What a dub for the Turks.
Yeah, Russia just comes into their land and they're like, we don't think so.
Yeah.
Go
Here's
back.
a giant army.
Charles is pissed and tries to get the Sultan to wage war on the Russians. The Sultan tells him to chill out and appreciate the fact that you're going to get out of this alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't go demanding shit.
Like, come on, let's fight him. It's like, hey, man,
You got 1 foot.
We just did that, and we're like, it's like going, it's like getting in a drunken bar fight and then going back to the hotel you're staying at and like whipping up the staff to come fight. Come on, man, stay in here. I'm fucking paid to stay here. Let's go fuck him up. Bellboy's like, sir, just go to your room.
Please.
So Charles doubles down and says, you know what? I live here now then.
Sweet. This guy fucking rules.
It's a pretty sweet move. But I think the Sultan might actually be the guy that rules. He's like, you know what? I'm going to respect your wishes. Arrest Charles and the few remaining men and throws them in an Ottoman prison. He's like, you do live here now.
Yeah.
No. My boy.
So this all goes down in 1713. And as this is happening, old Augustus starts bucking and poking his little head out. And Poland finally starts having success against Swedish troops and pushes them out of Poland altogether. Obviously not Charles' troops, different unit, but
Right.
But Augustus starts to finally have success.
They don't have their little psycho fucking lucky horseshoe anymore commanding the battles. It's just normies now.
Eventually, the Sultan allows Charles back to Sweden. He's like, I don't want to deal with you anymore. Please go back.
It feels like a just get out situation.
Yep.
And like I think Charles probably overestimated how much power the Sultan had at first. Like, no, you gave me this colony, man. But after like being in jail for a little while, he's finally like, okay, all right, I get it. Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, I think it starts to hit.
Do you think Charles ran any prison gangs while he was there?
You have to think with like his mangled foot too.
Yeah.
He's just limping along.
War. Fighting.
Yeah, like he still needs to get some. He's running that prison pretty quickly.
At this point, though, Russia, Denmark, and Poland are all fully back in on their fuck Sweden mission. And even England and Prussia get in on the action. They're like, ooh, Sweden's down, huh? Let's get some kicks.
Yeah, there's stuff. There's
There's
stuff
stuff.
to take. Let's go.
They're at war with all of Northern Europe. The Swedes are shell of themselves. But Charles doesn't know how to go down without swinging.
My man.
He launches a new campaign back in Denmark. And they have early success. But then the Norwegian Navy almost wipes out the Swedish fleet. This is a pivotal moment. Charles could no longer resupply his troops, and his forces are, have to retreat again. And now he doesn't really have a navy.
Does he even have a way home at this point?
Hard to say.
Yeah. What year is this at this point?
So this is all like 1715.
Okay.
Ish.
I was wondering if when they were
1714.
fighting Prussia, if he had to deal with Frederick the Great, but Frederick the Great was born in 1714. I just looked it up because I wanted to see. I was like, man, imagine you're fighting this war against 12 different people, and then Prussia just enters with one of the greatest generals of all time.
Peter the Great's no slouch.
He got the name the Great.
Yeah. You get the Great, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
The Russians invaded then Swedish-owned Finland, and the Finnish troops get crushed. Charles has one more move, trying to take the Norwegian city of Fredriksten. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Fjordarokkanen, it doesn't matter.
But unfortunately, during the siege is where the story for our sweet boy ends.
No.
Yeah.
His other foot gets shot off.
Hovering out of a trench to get a look at the fortress, all of a sudden, Charles laid in a pool of his own blood, dead, on December 11th, 1718, at just the age of 36. Now, there are many theories. Some believe he, standing out of the trench, just popping his head out like a gopher. But many believe that maybe his own men just took him out. They just had enough.
That's where I was going next. Yeah. They're like, dude, we just want to go home.
So they still have, this is how I remember this, that he was, what happened, because they still have the uniform he was wearing on display.
He's been exhumed like 3 times.
Yeah.
They've tried to figure it out. They still have, there are no leads right now.
This is literally what he died in. Like, you can see the mud on his cloak.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's cool.
With no kids or wife to speak of, his sister is given the crown. The Russians waste no time and raided Sweden from 1719 to 1721 until they were forced to make peace. Sweden has to cede all of its territory outside of Sweden and Finland, so anything they gained during the 1600s, early 1700s. And Russia this kind of puts them on the map, makes them a major power, and Sweden's never the same again. So that is the story of the Great Northern War.
They had a moment. And that's the important thing.
Every country
they
needs
had
one.
a moment. Like, it's, again, I know we overdo college football on this and stuff like that, but, like, you got your blue bloods who have a million moments, but it's nice for the little programs to have their one moment, and that was Sweden's one little, like, we finished top 5 one year. You know what I mean? Like, that was their thing.
2007, man.
That was we were ranked number 1 in 2007. MIZ, never forget.
I mean, so many teams. Kansas was 2. USF was 2.
2, but not 1.
Yeah. You'll always have that, Rob.
I will. I will.
Just like I'll always have being number 1 in the Coley Matrix, 2017, 2018.
I'm just telling you, countries are like college football programs. Like, there's blue bloods, and then you have your little guys who have some fun seasons every once in a while. That one memorable year, and that was Sweden. Sweden went off. Build that man a statue. I'm sure he has several, but
I hope so. I want to go see it.
oh, I'm sure he has actually, let's see if he has a rad statue. There's no way he doesn't. In Sweden, he's got to be their most beloved king, at least retroactively.
I think his dad's pretty beloved as well. Also, young Dolph before him. Also, Gustav. That was just a good run. It was just hitter after hitter. They didn't miss for like 150 years.
And then they became like the chill guys.
Yeah,
Like,
they got humbled,
Yeah.
and they're like, you know what? Why are we chasing the money and the riches?
Yeah.
Why are we chasing the fame?
And the war.
and
We're
the
all
glory?
dying. Yeah.
They went so far as to, I think they were, people forget this because people think about other countries, but Sweden was neutral in World War II.
People
Yeah,
forget
like the
that.
whole time, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They learned their lesson. Man.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, oh.
We're not gonna choose a side. We got
You're-
kind of boned.
You're doing this war where you fight everybody? We've done that.
We tried starting that.
Yeah, it's not sweet.
Been there.
Started with invading Poland. Yeah, we've done that. And then you're going to march on Moscow. We've done that. We've done it. I don't recommend it.
If only the Germans knew this Swedish history.
Right. Like, oh, what's
Maybe things
another
turned differently.
lunatic obsessed with the military who invaded Poland and then marched on
To be
Moscow?
fair, they got attacked first, so.
Oh, they were the victim? You know who else thought they were the victim? The Nazis.
I thought you were going to say another country that is a little bit, more applicable for today.
What, Russia? Who's like, weh.
No, it's another. We won't say it, though. I don't want to get demonetized.
Oh, that is another one, certainly.
Yep.
Although there was a very clear situation there. Say whatever you want about what happened afterwards, but I mean, they had a point where they were like, hey, they did that, so we're gonna do this. Sweden, same, yeah, Sweden was attacked too, but the Nazis were like, we're victims, but you gotta we have to explain it.
Sweden had their October 7th.
Yeah, they did. The Nazis were just like, well, I mean, they weren't wrong that Germany got ass fucked by the Treaty of Versailles, and then somehow Hitler was like, and the Jews wrote it or something. Jews.
We got to be upset at someone
Yeah.
or something, so
Yeah.
we might as well
Yeah.
choose this.
Fuck it.
Who's today's Hitler? Speaking of,
Honestly, Charlie 12's pretty sweet, but he made his own luck both good and bad, it sounds like. So,
I mean, there's a clear answer here.
Peter.
I was gonna say the Danes, bro. They lose wars in a week all the time.
Fuck. Yeah, good point.
They stink at war.
that's not even the Hitler, though. That's like, who's today's France? Like, it's just pathetic. I don't know, man. Charlie got a lot of people killed because he was just a fucking... It's one of those things where it's like Teddy Roosevelt, like you said earlier, where they're sweet to hear about from a distance, but up close when you're dealing with them every day, whether you're in the court or one of their soldiers, at some point you got to be like to your point, you're like, we don't actually know who shot him. Like, at some point you're just like, I can't take this anymore. I have had my fill of this fucking guy.
It makes more sense that he got killed by his own guys.
Yeah, it's like again, like just because we're bros here, you know, like
Are we bros?
I mean, like we're dudes. Yeah, we're not that close.
We're dudes.
Yeah, we're like like at first, like a screaming, angry coach like motivates guys, but eventually the locker room gets tired of his bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Probably the same way in the military, where like some officer or NCO might be a hard ass and like get everyone like good to go at first, but eventually, like once you're in shape, you're like, he doesn't change his ways. You know what I mean? And he's still on you, like you're all fucking slobs, and you're like, fuck off.
Those are the guys you hated the most. You're like, dude, we're all really good at what we're doing.
Yeah,
Fucking relax.
yeah.
Yeah. You don't got to be on all the time.
Yeah.
We're literally doing nothing all day. And like we're going to a shipping container, removing everything in there and then putting it back in. You don't got to yell at us.
Like,
You
we're
know?
gonna do it.
Yeah.
How many times did you get yelled at for mowing a lawn wrong?
Never. I actually never mowed a lawn.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I was good enough to not do the dumb things like that.
Okay.
Like the guys that mop the rain when it's outside. Like I was never dumb or bad enough to do that. I did make guys do that because I thought it was funny, but
What was your final rank?
E4, so like a specialist, but I was a team leader.
Okay.
So usually team leaders are reserved for sergeants, so like an E5.
Yeah.
But I was like good enough, like skilled enough to where they're, you know what, Lopez, you take a fire team. So the fire team's like 4 of us. And so I was in charge of a team. And that gave me like some sort of holding over like other guys that aren't even in my squad.
Yeah.
I was still a team leader, so I can make other dudes do things if I had to. But I didn't do a whole lot of really dumb things or punishments myself.
Now, one of the appeals I have taken away from TV and film of being special forces is you don't have to shave and you can kind of have whatever hair you want.
Yeah.
Is that true? Could you rock what you currently have right now?
Yeah, I've seen some dudes
If you were a
have
SEAL?
hair like this. SEALs, not as long, I don't think. I have seen them with relatively long hair, like it kind of touches the shoulders a little bit. Delta guys, same thing. All of them have beards. But my hair was so long up top that it did touch my nose. It's like that because I was like, hey, what are you going to do? Kick me out? And the regulation, I used to have the whole article memorized of like AR 670-1, Chapter 3, Paragraph 2, Section A. And I would state what it said when people called me out for it.
Yeah.
And nothing said the length has to be a certain length. It just has to be like neat and groomed, and the back of your hair can't touch the collar of your uniform.
So any other part?
And so for like a year and a half, I just got a low fade and let the top just go. My captain called me the Menendez brother.
Nice.
That's how long my hair was up top. Nice. And I'm like, yeah, what are you going to do? And he's like, nothing. And I'm like, yeah, exactly, dude.
What did you guys learn today?
Pretty much all of this. The only thing I knew about him, and I didn't remember it was him until halfway through the episode, was that he got clipped in battle.
Yeah, I learned that me and him have a lot in common. He ruled.
He was
And
the man.
especially his pre-ruling days of like no women, just training and stuff. That was kind of me in high school.
Yeah, training, education.
Yeah.
Get the ladies out of here.
Yep.
You know what else I
No
learned?
time for him when you got time for war.
You know what else I learned today? What old Charlie never learned? Logistics are for professionals.
Where do you think
Yep.
he maps on the little chart we had?
Top 20,
So
probably.
he won a lot of battles, and he won a lot of battles at long odds. And that chart is specifically. So this was the thing about that chart that we
Yeah.
talked about on the Patreon, patreon.com/softcore history, is that it only measured tactical success. So like
Okay.
General Sherman didn't rank that high. I mean, he was positive, like he was in the positive wins above replacement, but he didn't rank super high because his biggest success was a strategic move. It wasn't like a specific on battlefield
Gotcha.
situation. And actually, hilariously, I think the worst or one of the worst rated generals was George
Washington.
He was -9 wins above replacement.
Because like, he was technically just losing a bunch,
He
right?
lost battles constantly, but it was strategically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knew what he had to do strategically, which is I
Wait
live
him out,
I live here,
wear
bro.
him down,
Yeah,
yeah.
I live here, bro.
Taliban shit.
Keep coming. No, we joked that George Washington is just Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah.
Like it's the
Yeah.
same fucking thing.
That's great.
Yeah, I bet Charlie ranks pretty high.
With
Just-
the battles
yeah.
won, and how many battles did you say he was in? Like 5 or 6 at least.
Dude, a ton. I think more than that.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll look it up after. I'm actually gonna crack my laptop and look it up immediately, because I am curious.
I can't believe he only got shot twice.
Yeah.
Once in the foot and once he got domed. But yeah. That was our episode for today. Check out our Patreon, as we said earlier, patreon.com/softcore history. 2 additional episodes that drop every Wednesday and Friday for the $5 tier. We're doing a sports show on the $20 tier just as like an extra, along with additional content for all the people that are supporting us that way in such a big manner. We love you guys for everything. Thank you for listening. Scott, thanks for
Yeah.
coming to my house. or
Yeah,
my
thanks for
apartment.
the invite. It's a great spot.
It's not bad, right?
I love being a couch bro.
Yeah.
I prefer the couch. Genuinely prefer the couch.
Where can the good people find you, Scott?
Yeah, Instagram, Last Row Lopez, and that's about it. Thanks, guys.
Sweet. For Scott Lopez, Ralph Fox, I'm Dan Regester, and you just got soft served.